In a recent chat with Complex, Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda recalled some of the potential missteps the band avoided earlier in their career by standing up for themselves and not just taking label suggestions provided for their Hybrid Theory album. One would have definitely impacted how you view them as a live band, while the other could have changed how their breakout album sounded and perhaps not put the best foot forward the band was wanting. In reflecting on those early years, Shinoda reveals that their signing was met with more of a wait-and-see approach than with absolute confidence, and that their label had suggestions. But the band avoided the trappings that some young bands fall into with just being happy to have reached the point of being signed, and actually stood up for their vision. "We spent a lot more time on ourselves and our foundation than trying to get fans," he explains. "The more we wrote, the more we record, and honestly the more we stuck to our guns, 'cause we would get suggestions from the label about doing things differently, and usually we told them no." When asked about how things changed over the making of their first album, Shinoda recalled, "On the funny side, there was the one time an A&R guy asked, 'cause we were still getting comfortable on stage and working out that part of things, and he had us meet with this guy who choreographed and helped stage stuff on rap and R&B shows. This dude comes in, and he's basically like a choreographer, and he literally suggested, you need to have a thing on stage, like a gimmick. For example, you could come up to the microphone, step out to the side and step out of your shoes, or kick a shoe off." We were like, "What the fuck?" "That was a literal suggestion," he added. "I don't want to make it seem like he was a crazy person. He was shooting from the hip, and it was something that just popped into his head," said the Linkin Park co-vocalist. Obviously, things would have looked a little different if Linkin Park were hopping out of their shoes at shows. It turns out that Linkin Park made a lot of right moves early in their career. Thanks to the breakout single, One Step Closer, the band's Hybrid Theory shot up the Billboard 200 album chart upon its release, eventually peaking at number 2. The band quickly started getting invites to perform on Ozfest and the Family Values Tour, and toward the end of their album support for Hybrid Theory, they were able to put together their own Project Revolution package tour, with no freestanding shoes needed. The album yielded 4 singles, though Runaway would also chart at radio and Points of Authority would later be remixed by Orgy's Jay Gordon and would become the centerpiece single from their Reanimation remix record. Hybrid Theory has gone on to reach the rare diamond certification for over 10 million units sold in the US. It's actually now past 13 million total, and it's one of the more influential albums released during the nu metal era.